We needed an R2 that could actually go in very deep sand. We needed an R2 that could work in light sand. We needed an R2 that could go over door jams. But I think something in the fundamental design of that three-legged character has always been a difficult process.
R2 units are astro droids. They're a spaceship mechanic that just goes along to fix the ship if it breaks down. R2-D2 has always been a problem, and it takes a lot of very clever engineering to make him reliable and make him do the things that he has to be able to do.
All we're doing is we're bringing him up to date inside, because when you look in here, it's amazing. It's a trip into the museum almost, because all this 20 years ago. We're also going to get the weight low. He was top heavy before, which I think caused him to tend to want to fall over quite easily.
Yeah.
So. We now have 7 R2-D2s which can run on either the sand or on the stage, plus 1 Kenny Baker one, plus 1 we call the pneumatic one, which means it can go from 2 legs to 3 legs. R2-D2 actually, loving little creature that he is, turned into quite a nightmare for us. Now the first sets that we were on were Anakin's hovel, which meant R2 had to come in from outside, and the floor was uneven, so that was causing him to skid off at various angles, making him very difficult to control. The sand was getting in the chains and just locking the motors up, and they were shearing shafts and gearboxes.
Day by day, we were getting frustrated. You know, and it's one thing when you're dealing with an actor, you may do 4, 5, 6, 7 takes, but when you have a character that's been around for 20 years, that is run by a pretty simple mechanism, you expect him to be able to work.
Cut.
Cut.
I have bad droid karma. On Jedi, the droids just were perfect. R2 could do anything. He was amazing. We had 15 of them. And he went out in the forest. He went in the forest, in the desert, everywhere. And action!
Action.
Cut.
Cut.
Yeah, I think we'll give up on this.
Halfway through, George was pretty frustrated by having to wait around for R2. And it frustrated all of us because we'd spent so much effort and time and money trying to get him to be right. It was at that point when I said, okay, let's just do a huge event. Let's try and create the final R2, the R2 that can last forever. Okay. ILM did one version, and then our special effects department in England did another version. It wasn't a spare no expense experiment, but it was an experiment to see if 2 different groups of people could come up with some kind of mechanism to allow him to be a little bit more reliable.
We got 2 wheelchair motors that could push 440 pounds and created the new one, the Uber R2.
We produced a completely different foot and motor drive system to get him to run on sand. And we got him running quite nicely in Tunisia.
Is this the American one?
Yeah.
I'll just have to run him over and wreck it, otherwise he put me out of business. This is the other R2, is it?
Yes.
And they both, without consulting each other, came up with their own design, which was very similar. Finally, we have the definitive R2 who can do just about anything now. He can go through the sand, over door jams, he can move quickly, but sadly, life isn't perfect. We still have people who have to operate R2 by radio control.
your daddy, Captain.